Hillary Clinton said this in 2016 in a tweet. Computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking the Trump Organization to a Russian-based bank. Does that show there's been some surveillance there and somehow the intelligence got to you guys?
Well, I think it's important to step back, first of all, and remember the facts here. The facts are that Trump aides were caught talking to Russian agents, and those conversations were captured because the intelligence community regularly taps the phone lines of those Russian agents. So I think it's important to start there.
You say there was a wiretap? You say there was a wiretap?
That there was a wiretap of Russian agents, and that those Russian agents were communicating with Trump staff. That's why they were picked up. That's
How do you know
the
that?
Intelligence community. That's what the intelligence community has told us.
Do we know what they were talking about?
No.
Here's what else we know. There's all kinds of, based on these reports, investigative activities going on. You know, McClatchy reported the agencies involved, the FBI, CIA, National Security Agency, Justice Department, Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. I assume Obama knew something. I mean, unless he's Helen Keller. Now, let me make another point about this. That's a hell of a lot of agency resources. Those are a hell of a lot of investigators. The news report, you mentioned the New York Times, January 20th. I just want to make sure CNN and MSNBC are aware of this.
They watch all the time, Mark. Nobody's watching them. Go ahead.
Wiretap data used in inquiry of Trump aides. I never said independent of news reports about the wiretap. Wiretap data used in inquiry of Trump aides. Well, didn't Mr. Clapper say there were no FISA orders issued? If Clapper says there was no FISA order, and he was very broad, and he was very definite, and he said, no, I don't remember this, and you'll play it later, then what the hell are we talking about? That means they didn't have enough information for probable cause to get a warrant in front of the FISA court. So, what's the FBI, the CIA, the National Security Agency, the Justice Department, the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network investigating? What are these wiretaps that the New York Times is talking about? You know, I know they want to focus on Donald Trump and his tweet. I want to focus on America and the Constitution. The reason I got fed up with this last week is I'm a constitutional conservative. I look at this. If I'm reading these news reports, we have a runaway executive branch. I don't know who knows what. And as of today, the media don't appear to know who knows what, which is exactly why I've been calling for congressional investigations. The question is, why aren't CNN, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, and all the rest of them, why aren't they concerned about this?
What happened to me was a despicable, straight-up political hit job, okay? It's been debunked. My editor has completely supported me and backed me up. There is a very toxic, and it's getting increasingly toxic and poisonous atmosphere of personal destruction in Washington and the media. It's always sort of been there, but now it's at a whole different level. And this is exactly why smart and good people do not want to go into government service. I will tell you that nothing and nobody is ever going to stop me from speaking out on the issues I care about the future of this nation. There's also a really bigger point here, which is a lesson that I learned.
Look what they did to General Flynn.
Well, and this is the bigger point. In some ways, I was something of the canary in the coal mine. The attack on me was a test. What happened to me, what happened to General Flynn, what has happened to Attorney General Sessions and others is all of a piece. There is a very dangerous and very effective destabilization campaign underway against this president, his administration, and his agenda. And what I hope that the president and his senior aides understand is that these forces are not just looking to delegitimize him. We often talk about that. Sure, they want to do that. They want to personally destroy him, destroy his presidency, and they would like to see the man in prison. I hope that the president understands I am not overstating this, having been a victim of this myself. They are out for blood. And the reason they have to destroy him is that Donald Trump is an alien organism that has been injected into the body politic by the American people to reform it. He must not be allowed to succeed. They have swarmed him. They have swarmed everybody around him in order to reject him out of the system, just like any alien organism. He must not be allowed to succeed. succeed. And I hope that everybody around him now understands that this is a war and that they started a long time ago, but they will not end until they get the President of the United States.
Republicans, you are in a war. It is a Obama-run insurgency with his people in place right now in government offices, with the Democrats stalling like no time in history. The appointments made for the cabinet of Donald Trump, they still haven't been voted in yet, all of them. They got 2 or 3 left now, but they haven't been able to clean house. That was purposely done so they could leak information, classified or otherwise, and what you've got now is an insurgent civil war happening, and we better wake up. This is not a time to sit back and shoot at each other. You're in a war, and the war is for the United States of America.
In no part of your mind or brain can you imagine Donald Trump standing up one day and delivering a State of the Union address?
Well, I can imagine it in a Saturday night skit. I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
He will never be president of the United States.
Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
Wrong. Now, Donald Trump is not going to become president of the United States.
Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States.
Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States.
No one's going to be happier than President Obama when Trump loses. No one, except for me.
I think that Donald Trump's campaign is over.
Like it's a zombie, right? Like it's a Walking Dead. It's not.
There's nowhere for him to go.
Politico's latest survey of political insiders agrees, quote, Clinton will crush Trump in November.
At real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
I may be crazy.
History has been made, Jake. This is a moment a lot of people are going to remember.
Well, the first time in the history of this country that somebody who has never held any job in government or the military being elected to the presidency.
Pennsylvania goes to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Donald J. Trump is the president of the United States elect.
Decision Desk has called Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. This means that Donald Trump will be the 45th president of the United States, winning the most unreal, surreal election we have ever seen.